Here it is on the eve of my next bicycle trip. And I thought just start filming, man, because I gotta get out of here tomorrow. This is what I'm taking. I'm gonna pare this down. Those are my clothes. I'm gonna go through the inventory someplace out in the forest because right now I'm exhausted. I had the bike tweaked a little today at the shop, and it's like gonna be worth $1,000 to me because I didn't put the tires on properly. I'm dealing with the last of my possessions. This is my camping box. This is my media box. This is one of my clothing boxes. My laptop is gonna go here. And don't know what else to say. I'm pretty haggard. I was at the hospital yesterday. Thought I had pneumonia. Luckily it was bronchitis, so they say. I got antibiotics. I'm feeling better. I'm going to hit the road tomorrow. I'm going to pedal to California.
I got you.
Here it is. And this is my buddy James. He dropped me off. We worked together there at Thriftway for a minute. He's the professional meat cutter, meat technician. Did you have to go to school for anything?
No.
No. But he showed me once everything about the cow. And you don't call it a cow, really? I mean, what would you call it?
Just a steer.
A steer. So is a steer male or female?
It's a male that's decastrated.
Okay. So, a steer. So not the cows, do they?
Cows are females.
Female. And they don't slaughter them?
No, milk cows, basically.
Got it.
Holsteins or...
So I never knew that. And here it is. I'll probably be vegetarian the whole way. Well, damn, man. Thanks again, buddy.
You bet. Absolutely.
Well, I did a nice job of cleaning the chain, lubricating most of the points on the bike. I'm happy now about that. My head is in a fog. It's a horrible place to start. I'm really depressed. You would think I'd be happy to start this trip, but I'm really nervous also. There are a few long stretches I have to get through before I can be less nervous. What I have to do now is work the bags onto the bike. I haven't even done that yet. I got dropped off here straight from my cabin, and it was a whirlwind getting out of there. I keep thinking, what did I forget? Did I bring that? I guess this is it. And there's going to be some things going in that garbage, I'm sure. Probably all of this stuff here, the cleaning items. I can't afford to take it. You know, this right here, this Deoxit D5 just blasts a chain clean. All you need is a rag underneath it and your chain is clean. I mean, I might save that for the next chain cleaning. Why am I depressed? I could about cry right now. I'm not sad to leave anything, only my safety net. Let's do some more work. This is really close to No Gal, probably 20 miles from my home. I am going to have to try and get an early start tomorrow to beat the wind, maybe even the weather. Fantastic views. Maybe I'm sad to leave some of these places that I've had such great times at. Carrizo Peak, Capitan. Well, I got the handlebar bag on, got the mirror on, got the bungee that used to be there for the first trip. I looked at the maps and I'm not as nervous now. The distances, I'm just gonna go and do my best, try my hardest, and not worry about doing this 50 miles or 60 miles to this place or whatever. It's a little cold. My guess is it'll only get warmer, but I have enough. Oh, still here. I spent the night here. Man, I slept hard. Nice and quiet, nice and peaceful. The wind completely dropped down to nothing, which when I get my game on, I might do some night traveling, might have to. I might even ask for rides through some of these stretches. At this point, I don't care if I bicycle it or not. There's one stretch of 50 miles through the desert. I think it's even more than that. I'm still kind of getting over my sickness. It's in my head. And this morning I felt a little weak. My body's coming around. It's getting a little more energy, though my appetite is horrible. I don't know why. I can hardly eat anything. I did get this camera mounted. I had some trouble because the bolt was too big to fit on there. It was like a screw bolt. So I just zip tied it on here. This is something new for the trip. And there's quite a lot of weight associated with the batteries. AA batteries. I have 8 rechargeable AA batteries. That's the story for now. Still kind of dealing with a depression, though I don't know if that's the right word for the feeling. Maybe that's why it's so hard, because I don't know how to describe it. What I really needed to do was let myself go from my life in the city and all the amenities, the hot water, the computer, you know, the stove, the bed, the television, and the thought of, you know, having income to support my lifestyle. I mean, just to turn a switch and make it all go away. difficult. And that's, I think, what I'm dealing with. But it's coming along. I'm getting better. I looked at the maps last night. I need another good water container for the longer stretches. And I just hope that I can carry it all. Got to deal with that food. I have a lot of food right now. Alrighty then. Day 3. Still here at the same place. My head's coming out of the fog. I took my last antibiotic tablet, azithromycin, and I'm just going to stay here and continue to rest up. I'm sure that tablet's going to make me feel crappy here in a little bit. I'm getting my strength back in my body, which feels good. I asked the passerby for some water. He gave me 3 half-liters of water, and that's going to get me through the day. After that, I've got about 2 liters, and I just have to go down the hill from here, possibly get some water from a creek, or just go on down to the next city. In my mind, I've let go of my home, and now I'm homeless. It feels like it's there, it's in place, and I'm ready to travel and just do whatever I need to do. I haven't put 1 inch of distance on this bike yet with all the gear on it. I hope everything works out with that. Traffic noise is something I'm just gonna have to get used to, because I'll be sleeping close to it or near it the rest of the way. I don't think it's gonna be this busy in many places. That's okay. It rained, it's cold, the sun feels good, it's starting to dry out. That's a good thing. But again, I'm just going to rest up right here. It's a great morning. It's the 4th day I'm here. It's the last day I'm here. It's the last hour I'm here. Packed the tent up. We had a lightning storm last night. Pretty amazing. And now I've got this sweet omen here. It's a bluebird. Never seen here before. Sending me on my way. I'm no longer sick. My lungs were hackneyed yesterday. I was coughing. And I'm ready to go. Today is April the 9th. And it seems and feels like it's early in the season for me to go because of the cold. It's snowing in the mountains north in Colorado. I'm going to be there in 3-4 weeks. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited. Not bad. 46.5 miles today. I wanted to get 50, but I was going downhill, lower in elevation, this way. And my guess is these trees would run out a little farther. So I saw this clumping and just beelined right in. This is really fortunate here. This fence line is gotta be 80 yards from the road. It's the biggest space that I've seen along this highway. I had a rough climb. It was a 10-mile climb from the last ridge to the last ridge from the other side. Luckily it was 7 miles downhill to here, and it looks like it keeps going. I got 30 miles to go through this pretty much dry stretch, and I'm set with water. I carried almost 8 liters of water over 2 passes. It was wicked. The wind was coming strong from the south. It got me a couple times in the face. I'm heading west generally. And so I'm just going to check out my NOAA radio. This is what I'm going to be doing a lot, is sleeping next to the highway. I don't have a choice. Honestly, it'll probably drop down to next to nothing as far as traffic tonight. And those early cars will wake me up, get me going. Okay. Super first day of riding. Unbelievable. Uh-oh. Crap. I'm not getting the reception right now. I had it perfect up there last night, and I got a good warning of the lightning storm that came through last night. So I covered up my bike. Supposedly there's another one tomorrow. And man, that's gonna blow if I can't get any good stations. I won't keep it if I can't get any reception. I pedaled through this lava field. I forget the name. Something fires. And there were barrel cactuses blooming. Beautiful red flowers. Man, maybe I'll see some more. I'm sure I'll see some more. This one pretty much sucked. We've got some like storm clouds, and the front was approaching, and I just bailed to the side of the road. It's a fucking busy ass highway. I don't know where these people are going. It sucks. Highway 60, just east of Socorro. The next town is 27 miles up. and they just must drive back and forth every day. But I set the tent up to get out of the rain, and it didn't rain. It blew like hell, and it sprinkled for like 2 seconds. And now I'm roasting in the tent. It's hot. I'm right next to the highway with zero privacy. It's the best stealth setup I could get. I'm gonna check in tomorrow. I got 45 miles today, which I'm happy about. I just climbed up out of the Rio Grande River Valley. I'm happy to be up here. It looks like the highway rolls a bit. Might drop back down. It's the third day. I'm at about 100 miles. The bike is doing just great. I'm having to deal with back pain, my right side, and I think it's just from slouching over the bike. If I stop and take a break and lay down, it helps. I think this is where the trip is going to get a whole lot better. I had to cross the missile range through the desert. Luckily, the weather has been fairly nice. If I get going early in the morning, it's before the wind picks up. That's that. The Continental Divide, probably another 50 miles, 30 miles, and then we hit Arizona. Yes, sirree. I'm sitting in my tent. I'm happy about that. It was a rough morning. That wind was pretty harsh. I came into this plain, no trees, flat, probably 10 or 15 miles of it, and the wind was just not as bad as I've experienced, but it was pretty rough, and I had to stop so many times. The climb from my campsite was surprisingly easy. Climbing's not a problem, it's the wind that's a problem. So here I am again next to the highway, but it's not as bad as it was yesterday. I've got some shelter here, got some shade, and this stretch of highway just west of Magdalena, it won't be as busy. I think most of that traffic was going up and down from Socorro to Magdalena, and then the Indian reservation behind that. And farther this way, a little bit more of that traffic is going to the very large array, which is a bunch of dishes, radio dishes. Now here, this is great because we've got some trees. Man, I was just dying for a little shade yesterday, little cover. This is not bad. If somebody's looking, they'll see me. But I have not seen anyone look over here. And I had to find a spot before going down into this If you can see it, it's just a complete flat plain like the one I mentioned before. And I have to cross that, probably again 20 miles, 15 or 20 miles. I got 37 miles today, which is not spectacular. I like to average 50. But honestly, what I went through this morning, I'm happy. And I need to rest. My sleep was really horrible last night with strong winds just buffeting the tent. And then that traffic early morning, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. So I'm going to crash hard right here. I've been waylaid here by the rain. It started before sunrise, and right now it's nearly 2 p.m. The tent's dried out on the outside. Still have some damp places. I'm gonna hit the road. It gave me a chance to look at my maps and figure out how long it's gonna take me to get to my power-up package. About 2 weeks, and that's putting it within 2 days, I think, of them sending it back. So I need to contact them about possibly holding it longer or forwarding it to another post office. That's cool. I'm looking forward to riding right now. There's no wind, but it was cold. Real cold. Last night I had an owl back here. He's pretty far away. He only hooted a few times. And then just a few minutes ago, like when I was thinking I need to go, there were 2 woodpeckers right on this tree. You can see all the holes. One was a flicker and one was a black and white woodpecker. Pretty awesome to see. And it was really cool to see them so close. I was just laying here with my head sticking straight up. You're looking at the sky. And that was way cool. This is pretty wild. It snowed up there in the mountains that I just passed through yesterday. Yeah, it was pretty cold last night. Wet and cold last night. The wind is cold. It's 8:30. It's gonna warm up a bit, I'm sure. Happy that it's clear, man. It was a rough day yesterday. I biked across this like 20-mile open plain, and the rain was threatening. And the wind started to get me in my face, and I just pedaled hard for like, I think it was 27 miles to get here before it started raining. I didn't actually know this place was here. It's a BLM campground, Daddle Well campground. And I'll tell you, for $5, it's just a bargain to have this picnic table and this covered area here. We're 151 miles into the trip. I'm satisfied. I might just stay here and rest up. I altered my plans. I was going to travel south into a national forest, and I looked at the maps, and it was going to add 2 days, which was fine, but it was all up and downhill, and I think those roads would be tight. Barely room for an RV and a bicycle. So I've altered my plans, and I'm just going to take the straight highway around the top of the mountain range. And I am going to have a couple more of those big open grassy stretches, I understand. But when I started that stretch yesterday, it was beautiful. It was awesome. I was going. I was like, man, this is the best thing ever. I got out of my rut in that wet spot and started pedaling, you know, and of course the first half hour is great, and then the rest of it's sucky. I need a shower. I need a shower bad. I'm gonna go clean up somewhere. I have to change my shirt, change my underwear. I'm getting some chafing from the underwear. Elastic band around my legs, rubbing on the bike, I guess, and I have some massive band-aids for that. I'll check back in a while. I need some coffee. This sun is like medicine to me, but the wind is cold. I'm really surprised at how cold this wind has been since the beginning. I'm pretty lonely right now. Very strange feeling, because I'd talked to a few people here at the campground, and now they're all gone. One guy had this big truck. It looked like an X-Files truck, and he offered me an Arby's sandwich last night, and I just finished dinner. I just finished making my dinner, and I didn't want it. The first thing I thought was, I'll get some germs from Socorro, where that sandwich was made, and get sick. But I tell you, I would eat that sandwich right now. I had my coffee. That was great. I've used up one of these cans of fuel in about 6 days, maybe a week. I carried white gas in one of these containers, and I filled the small canister from there. I've got this large canister over here, and what's left in the plastic jug there. It's probably nearly a month's worth of fuel right now that I have, and that's going to get me definitely to my next power up in Monticello. And there's 4 cities I'm going to go through. I think the last 2 I'll look for white gas, and if not, I can burn unleaded gasoline in these. I saw some guy do it on YouTube. Supposedly it's dirtier, but it's a relief to know I can burn gasoline for my meals. So today I'm gonna get a full inventory of everything I have on film, and I'm gonna be choosing things that I might send away. I'm not gonna send them away yet. I will get rid of some dehydrated pinto beans. I have nearly 2 pounds, and there's no way I'll use that up in 2 weeks. So this is good. I just have to kind of work on my mind now. I have to gear up for what's ahead. There's two big stretches, or maybe one big stretch of open plain, and the wind is just going to pummel me. I know it the whole way, and I have nearly 100 miles, I think, maybe more, before I head north, and will most likely be going maybe with the wind, or it'll be coming from my left. Okay, I'm gonna work the inventory right now. I'm gonna show you what I'm carrying on this trip. First off, we'll start with the tank bag. That's a Bontrager tank bag that is priceless to me. It's not waterproof. There's some pouches here in front. I might toss my change in there. Right now I've got some mace. It's not mace, it's pepper spray. This thing is 3 years old. I don't even know if it'll work. Here's another inside bag pouch. There's an extra mirror, some marijuana, and a cleaning implement for the marijuana pipe. There are 3 spokes in here in a Ziploc bag, and I have my air pump in here right now. The things that were kept in that front bag, which actually it just attaches to my handlebars with Velcro straps, and there's some elastic that runs down each side to hold it in place. So I have inner tube patching equipment here, and there's also super glue. That super glue, I think, would be most important if I cut myself really bad and didn't have any other way to help that. This is my very limited tool selection. 3 Allen wrenches and a very small Cabela's multi-tool. It's got pliers, there's a knife, there's a saw, screwdrivers, bottle opener, and scissors. That's it for my tools. By the way, all this stuff needs to dry out. It's been damp in that bag. Even though everything is like in plastic, if it gets wet, it stays closed, and that moisture just kind of seeps everywhere into everything. Here I've got a headlamp, and I have a flashing tail light. That would be what I would use to travel at night. I'm not really up for any night travel just yet. It's a big mental challenge to go to sleep at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and wake up at midnight. Here we have some cables. I believe there's 1 brake cable and 1 gear cable. I have a tire sidewall patch kit, and I have some duct tape. Here I have an emergency blanket, earplugs, there's a lighter, and some rubber bands. Here's rubber bands, a paper clip, there's some nuts in here. It looks like there's 1 screw. There's rubber bands. There's also a chain master link in here. I hope I never need to use that. Here's some more rubber bands. There's a sewing repair with only fishing line. More rubber bands, safety pin. There's some wire here that I use. It's the very thin, strong wire to clean my stove jet. There's an extra fuel pump here for my stove, lighter, platypus implements, a clip, and a nipple. There's a whistle in here for camping, a thermometer, compass, all in one. And there's also a wrench for my stove. What the heck are those things called? I just said it. There's a wrench in here. For my stove pump. Okay. There's a battery charger for AAA and AA batteries. Yes, I need this. Here's a rag with a toothbrush in it. You'll never need to purchase rags for cleaning. You'll find them on the side of the road. Some are brand new. This is a lot of weight here. I need most of all of this. It's my camera battery charger. There are, I think, 6 more AA batteries. The AA batteries go on my handlebar camera. The AAA batteries charge my headlamp, my rear flashing lamp, and my radio. The radio I don't know if I'm going to keep. And we have extra camera cards. There's also my phone charger in here and an extra phone battery. Here we have mostly small bungee cords, zip ties, and like camping rope. I think there's too many in here, and this would be really for just strapping a bag that is starting to fall apart or something like that. Now that is everything that I am keeping in the front handlebar bag. Real quickly, I'll just point out the accessories I have on my handlebars. There's a cat eye, speedometer, odometer, and I feel that if I didn't have that, I would be biking blind. This thing is like my best friend. Even though the miles don't pass fast enough. Okay, so I have 2 extra batteries for that. This is an Oregon Scientific digital camera. This is what uses the AA batteries. Right now there are 2 in the camera. They've been in there for about a week, and I haven't worn those batteries yet. And I have 6 more batteries. I might have excess batteries for that. It didn't mount the way I would like because there's a screw that it just takes up too much room here. So my filming might be a little crooked and maybe pointed down. I won't know until I plug it into a computer. Last on the front here, that's a cat eye rear view mirror. This is precious also. Every time I hear a car, I look in there. This is like one of my many super bonuses to have on the trip. I got these midway on my first trip. There's a front fork bag mounting rack. It goes over the top. This helps the stability, and 2 Delta bags. And this setup has just been flawless, and again, another priceless thing to have on this trip. It frees up space in the back and kind of balances the weight from front to back. what I keep here is my sleeping bag. And there's a garbage bag that I keep in this top pouch to use to keep it waterproof. These bags are not waterproof. There's a nice reflector on the front, and they probably were intended to point backwards, but these are great, and I believe they each have a 20-pound limit. The weight in this side, it's not negligible. I have right here some essential oil, some lavender essential oil. I used it once inside my bag. Okay, so I'm going to show you my bag. That's the bag. And it's a down-filled bag. Right now, it's been sitting in the sun for probably 2.5 hours. And it almost cleans it with that hot sun hitting it. It really warms up fast. This thing can be completely wet, and I can get in there and warm up. Even though it's damp inside, it's happened a couple times. Not on this trip yet. It's been cold and it's been damp on the outside, but this is my last hope of getting warm, and I needed it last night. It was amazing. Perfect thing to have on this trip. If it gets hot, I won't want it, but I'll almost guarantee every night on this trip I'll need it. There's one more thing I keep in this handlebar bag that's very dear to me. It's my feather collection. There is no weight, of course, involved in keeping these. These are feathers that I've collected over probably the last 20 years. Some of the feathers I remember where I found them, some I don't. There's even a big turkey feather, and also vulture. It's not a vulture, it's a turkey hawk maybe, I don't know. Feather in there. So I have my feather collection with me. The headlamp holds 2 AAA. The rear light holds 2 AAA batteries. And my clock, I think, holds 3. So that's 7 plus 6 AAA batteries. That's 13 AAA batteries I have. The front camera holds 2, and I have 6 extra AA batteries. So that's a total of 8 AA batteries. It might seem like too much if I weren't filming, and if I haven't, and if I didn't use these lights for possibly night riding, I wouldn't have so many extra batteries. Okay, let's inventory what's in the front left bag. Quite a bit, actually. This one right here. I keep my health things in here, and this top inside netted pouch area, I keep things that I need to get to, quite often, like a toothbrush or something. So it's kind of a rotational space there. Right now there are 3 inner tubes in the bottom of that bag. So for the health things, let's do the biggest thing first, and this is Gatorade, powdered Gatorade or Powerade, and it's a bunch. That's a whole lot right now. I had leftover from when I moved out of my cabin. And so this stuff cannot get wet. If it gets wet, it's just about ruined. It's nasty, twice as heavy. But it's a lifesaver. 2 days ago, I think I was just about shot for energy. And I filled my cup up with a big scoop and just drank that stuff, man. And I was a little hungry and it filled me up. And it got me another 10 or 12 miles just like that. It was amazing. So that stays up front on the left with my cup. Usually I would have about half that much, but I'll use it. That stuff is like gold. It's heavy. There's probably 2 pounds right there. I keep my cup up front there. More health things. Band-aids. Large band-aids for my butt cheeks and my groin area. I mentioned some chafing. It's going to happen, and I'm going to need this. And I might even need small band-aids underneath. And I try to keep these on for as long as possible. 2 days if they stick, or maybe 3. There's some moleskin in here also. And a few smaller band-aids. I've got some antiperspirant. I'll use that today. I've got a mosquito head net. I doubt I'll need this unless I get up into some mountains where there's a bunch of snow melting. Extra prescription glasses and an insert for sunglasses. There's baby powder, which I put in my boots and in my pants, groin area. At night, maybe. Some hand sanitizer. I have 2 of these right now. This is sunscreen that I need to use up because I don't want this container. In this bag, man, that's here in this bag. This is naturopathic remedy I made, usnea and beeswax. That's just for general skin healing. There's some floss, 2 condoms, antibiotic ointment, 2 containers, earplugs, more chapstick. Here's a bug bite mitigator that I would almost recommend for every trip. There's some toothpaste and a razor. These are my tablets, which I have needed every day so far. The yellow ones, vitamin B. The dark pink ones, like a generic Benadryl. I've used those to keep my cough down and go to sleep at night. There's Aleve, which I've used for my back and my butt pain. I might have to take 2 a day. Sometimes it doesn't even work. And there's also some a few like pain remedy sleep aids, which I don't think I'll use. This I found before I left, and it's some crumbled up salt tablets. Looks like there's some aspirin in there, and it looks also like there's some daytime allergy tablets. That's the stuff for my body. I keep that in this yellow, supposedly waterproof scrunch sack. These are my paper items. I keep that in the blue scrunch sack. I doubt it's waterproof. A book. I need a book, man. If I'm stranded in the tent and it's raining, and I've got to just hunker down, I'll need a book. I keep my diary in here, my mileage planner chart for the distances I do every day, and I note where I've stayed. A couple pens. I've got my birth certificate, social security card, and all my personal information in here. Passport, did I say that? And some fingernail clippers. All of that stays in that front left bag there. There were a couple items I skipped over or missed. I have like 5 Q-tips in here. And also, I mentioned the pepper spray. I found this screwdriver thrown in at the last minute. This is probably really important. And my key, the only key I possess, is for the bicycle lock. It's right here. And this very small Son of God pocket knife. Okay, now I'm gonna talk about this rack on the back, aluminum. It fit on my mountain bike also. So this thing has been through like maybe 4,000 miles, and then I got the mountain bike, and then I took touring trips on the mountain bike with this rack, and it's just bomb proof. It's an Axiom rack. I don't know which model. You're going to want the kind that pushes the back end of the bag away from the wheel. These are 45-liter Axiom bags. The same story for the distance and duration and the just beating these things have taken, man. Just incredible. So in this bag, I carry the food, and it's just going to be better for me to go through what's in that. Okay, this is the food that I'm carrying with me right now. It goes in this heavy-duty shopping bag, and it's a good thing I looked in here because it was a little damp, and I'll air it out. First off, when I'm loaded down, I'll have a bottle of water in the front of the bag right here. So for the food, easy enough. I've got a dry breakfast mix, raisin bran and oatmeal. I've got peanuts and raisins. It's a lot. I have 5 ramen packages I just stocked up. So these are key, man. When you need something fast and hot, and that broth just to warm you up. It's been twice now on my trip I've needed something to warm up my body. A bunch of macaroni, just plain noodles. I'll go through that. I'm starting to go through that because here I had 2 more smaller packages. And it's pretty tasty the way I cook it up. There's coffee. I feel that I might run out. I hope not. Tea and leftover ramen flavoring. This is the bomb homemade beef jerky. I've been munching on that, and it's gonna go fast, I know, but I don't care. I'll have 2 squares each time I stop, or maybe 1 square, and it's the bomb. I dehydrated organic bananas before I left, and these rock. It's a little a little heavy. This is probably half a pound here, but with my oatmeal, they just kind of melt right in and give it this sweet, sweet flavor. Here's some dehydrated fruit I bought at the Dollar Tree. I haven't tried it yet. This is going to be last after the bananas. Here I've got some dehydrated items. These I dehydrated in my oven along with the jerky, real low. This is a sliced zucchini, and they're a little like burnt or caramelized, and they come out just fabulous after boiling for a minute or two. Dehydrated peppers, what a bonus to have a job at a supermarket where they throw these away. It doesn't look like much, but that's going to be probably a dozen to 20 meals. Just fabulous flavoring, just a nice kick, man, with that zucchini. Textured vegetable protein. So glad I found that a couple days before I left. And this is my spice mix, and there's Parmesan cheese in there that has been making these meals just perfect. So this is all my food, and with this water jug here, it all goes into this bag. Now there's small pouches on the back of each bag which hold easy access items. This came out of the health bag. Here we have sunscreen. I've got this little bit of deoxit cleaner that I'll use maybe one more time on the chain. This is excess. This was not planned to be on the trip. It's not heavy though. There's my chain lube. Brand new. It was full. I love this stuff. This is my mix for my back pain. Topical ointment. Sort of like icy heat, but naturopathic peppers and arnica. And a couple times, man, it just revived me. That's all. There is one more thing. This bar of soap was at the bottom, and I'm going to have a poor boy bath when I'm done with the inventory. This is great. I'm warming up. The wind has died down, and I needed this. It's a morale booster to have the sun warm you up and dry all your stuff. Yeah, getting cold and wet for a long period of time, and I would say a whole day, that really wears on your mind and your stamina. All you can think about is sitting in some car with the heat on, you know, driving to your destination, or a nice hot shower. So this is like what you wait for, is that sun to put you back in your dry, warm place. So we're going to talk about this pannier and what I keep in there. And I'll start with the stove first. It's not on the bottom, of course. This is stove fuel, and it goes in the front of the bag, just like the water bottle. On the other side, I try to keep it even. This is a Whisper Light stove. Bomb-proof stoves. This one doesn't have the shaking jet in it. It's the model before that. The jet just sits in there, the tiny opening, which I have to clean occasionally with very thin, strong wire. Fuel bottle, MSR, that has white gas in it. That small one will last about a week. And then I have this larger fuel bottle. This is full, and it looks like I need to release some pressure. It's pushing on that O-ring. These two O-rings are a little cracked and worn. I'm just not sure what to put on it. I might put some chapstick on there. Both of the fuel bottles ride here. So with the MSR stove, it goes in this small bag. Purple, I know where it is and can easily find it by the color. I've got an old school Boy Scout boiling pot. I might say it holds a half a liter. It's aluminum and it sucks, but that thing has been with me for 20 years. And that's the only item I have to cook with. So usually I start with boiling water for a warm drink and then continue with that water for my dinners or breakfasts. I keep in this bag, this black mesh bag, I keep the stove, the pot, this dish rag, which this might be excess, but it's nice for drying little spills in the tent, or you know, drying up some leaky rain in the tent, or even putting my hot meal on in the tent, or my tea. So also there's a spoon. This is my only eating implement I have, and a lighter goes in that bag. I can see my clothing selection has something to be desired. Let's talk about what I'm wearing. I have this synthetic t-shirt, and I have this synthetic long sleeve shirt. I have a pair of underwear, and I have these black zip-off synthetic pants. They're really light, but they're quite durable. The zippers have lasted a long time. There's a side pocket, two front pockets, and a back pocket. And the pockets I wish were zippered. I have a pair of brown nylon socks on. The boots I'm wearing are Desert Combat boots, Belleville Gore-Tex boots. I wouldn't have anything else out here. Now, I've dirtied one pair of socks and a pair of underwear. I'm going to try to wash my underwear and my socks today to dry in the sun, along with my body cleaning. I'm wearing this cap. It's kind of bright to get attention if I need to on the road, and also this ear band. It's almost time to take it off. It's my only way to keep my upper head warm. So extra clothing, 3 extra pairs of socks, light synthetic socks, making a total of 5 pairs of socks. I have 3 clean pairs of underwear and 3 hankies. I have a hanky in my pocket, so there's a total of 4 hankies and 5 pairs of underwear. I have 3 shirts in here. One is a heavier synthetic spandex shirt, and this is a very lightweight button-up shirt, which it's going to be a while before I need that. And I have 1 pair of shorts, cargo shorts, which these zippers and the durability of these pants are incredible. I could have brought the pant legs, but I didn't. honestly, it was either keep them on or throw them away because one zipper was broken. And I almost wish I had the long leg pants. These are a little heavier, but they're part cotton, so drying out takes longer. So, on the bottom of that bag has ridden this nearly 2 pounds of refried beans. It's way too much. I'm gonna break this bag down today and maybe give some of these beans away to somebody here. So that's been on the bottom of that bag. The clothes are in the middle, and on top, my camera case, which has my cell phone, my wallet with cash, and my entire cash supply for the journey, $1,500. This is a water filtration device. Actually, there's 2 filters here. They're very small Sawyer water filters. One is brand new. So you fill up this small container with dirty water, squeeze it through into your clean container. Also in the right bag, on top I'll have some toilet paper and my maps. I have DeLorme Atlas pages cut out of the state guidebooks. I have these DeLorme Atlas maps are very detailed, showing campgrounds and terrain, elevation change. I don't, however, have Arizona, and if I deviate from my path, I might not have those detailed pages. So this is basically New Mexico, a part of Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and California. I have a United States map, which I refer to, and this map is called the Indian Country Guide Map. This is covering Arizona, the part that I don't have, but a little bigger proportion. And on top of everything mentioned, I'll have another water bottle sitting on the bag, either full or empty. And in this back pouch, I'll have my lock coiled up, and there's a clock that goes in there. This is the clock I was talking about, and it's a really cool radio clock that tunes into an NOAA weather frequency. There are 7 channels. There's an AM radio, an FM radio, and also an alarm. Now, this thing picked up the weather channel in Ruidoso clear as a bell, and it was so cool to listen to, and I imagined I'd be getting stations, but I don't. I haven't picked up anything until last night on the AM band, just very faint and garbled. This could be excess. There's 2 batteries, and there's the bulk. I don't have the AC adapter for it, so it's going to be using batteries, AAA batteries. I think there's 3. Kind of cool to have, if it worked, to get those weather channels. It might get shipped away. So that clock goes on top right here, and other than my cell phone, it's the kind of like my backup clock. I'm checking to see how long the batteries last, and so far they've lasted about 8 days. But I haven't used the radio at all, just to check to see if there's anything. So I balance the weight between these bags, try to keep it even. You can sort of pull it out a little bit to see how much is in there. This, with the food, is much heavier right now. After I've got my bags filled and set, I've got a tarp here. I don't know the dimensions. It's been in my camping crap forever, hardly ever used. What I've done with this so far is cover the bike to keep the bags from getting wet, and it just about covers the whole thing. So that's what I have this for. Also, emergency beacon. I could get someone's attention with this color. And so far, double layered, it's been waterproof, and I'm completely surprised. I could also use this to collect water if I was in a desperate situation and it was raining. Heck yeah, I could just strap it to the bike and run a corner down, and it would collect it fast if it was coming down. So this rides here with another bottle of water, and rolled up on the back is my tent inside of my sleeping pad, and this cargo net holds it on top right here. This is incredibly flexible. With this tarp and this cargo net, I could carry a whole lot of stuff right behind the bike. I could even use this to wrap up the tent and the pad, which I probably will. And then on the back, that's a real bright color for cars coming on behind me. Yes, there's more. I wear a backpack with up to 2.5 liters of water, maybe more in individual containers, no more than 4 liters on my back. This is it, man. And so far, this was a score. I decided on that because it was mesh and would breathe easier. So I've got a platypus hydration bag, 2.5 liters. Here's my tube, comes out of the top. I'll attach it to the shoulder strap, and I can go 25 miles on that 2.5 liters. Inside also, I've got some random water bags. These I filled up, and we'll probably keep those empty, only for emergencies maybe, or long distances, because with the 2.5 liters and the 3 smart water bottles, that's 5.5 liters. That's enough to go overnight and travel a good 40 miles. So I think the total amount of water right now that I could carry would be 5.5, 6, 7, 8 liters. Now that would get me 50 miles and allow for one night of camping. I might have to do it. I like to keep my daily snacks in here for easy access. There's some jerky and some trail mix. Usually tides me over. My gloves I keep in here. These are usually on my ankles. Here's the toothbrush. I might keep it in here. some eye shades, sunglasses, inserts. Those are on my face almost constantly. There's my helmet. I just wear that right over my hat, and it's just a peace of mind. I don't commute with a helmet. I never have. But on my trip, you know, I might just wipe out, hit my head, and still be able to function. This is my rain gear. These are frog togs, a little heavier than your normal frog tog rain gear. And that was this is kind of a gamble. When I have these on, I feel great, nice and warm. The jacket breathes, but it's also like a windbreaker. But they're very susceptible to being snagged and ripped and cut and stuff. And if I ruin these, I won't be able to replace them until I'm in a larger city. Now those I'll wear on my back in that bag so I can access them really quickly if it starts to rain. And they're inside this waterproof, water-resistant scrunch sack. And this is my pillow at night. These will be inside this bag, and this is my pillow. And it gets pretty flat. I didn't mention these pants that are part of my clothing inventory. I don't know if these were the right choice. They're nice, but they're like ultra synthetic, and they sort of like have a little chill to them. And they'll keep me warm, and I think they would keep me warm if I were active, but I intended to use those in my sleeping bag at night. So there's a little bit of chill to them sometimes, and I think they're containing some heat around my hips that won't reflect in the sleeping bag. Last night I wore these pants with my underwear on, and I was fine. It might just be the thing that I do, but for an emergency, these would be real nice to have on with some pants and the rain gear. For my top emergency layers, you're looking at it, a short sleeve shirt, and this is like ultra thin, this long sleeve shirt. And after that I have the jacket, and it's cutting it close. Now that is everything other than the glasses I have on my face, easy access toilet paper, and hand sanitizer. I just want to talk about the tires, maybe the bike. It's a Specialized Crossroads hybrid bicycle that I bought in Michigan for $200, and I've gotten thousands of dollars worth out of it so far. These are Bontrager hard case tires. They're getting worn, and I hope to replace them near Moab, but they're lined with Kevlar, so sharp things won't go through the Kevlar and puncture the tube. Sometimes it happens, rarely. What will happen is you'll get like a sharp object lodged into the outer rubber layer. There I had one. So I have to go through the surface of those tires daily and pick things out before they break through the Kevlar or get dislodged, before they break through the Kevlar and get lodged in there deeper. But those are amazing tires. I wouldn't need anything else to tour with. That is everything. And now I'm going to clean up, wash some clothes, and maybe hike to that ridge. If that trail goes to that ridge, I would be real happy. Here's my tent. It's just a generic bivvy tent from Big 5. I don't even know what the brand is. Golden Bear. So far, so good. It's been keeping most of the rain out. There's some condensation issues. When I'm all closed up in there, the moisture collects inside, and then if I lift up, it drops the moisture down and it gets the bag wet. So there's some issues, but for like a very lightweight survivalist tent, this is a good bivvy tent. For stakes, I just substituted 6 of these Eagle Nest aluminum stakes. Other than that, I just have this real thin sleeping pad, which might be starting to come apart. I've put that thing through a lot. Here I am for a nice hike. There's a 2-mile interpretive hike. It's a loop. Getting a taste of the Gila National Forest. I may not be in it, but this is what it's like. And I changed my plan. I intended to go a little south through some mountain roads, and it would have taken me through a lot of the forest, but I'm just gonna go on the busier highway, number 60, and that's gonna take me north of here to the main city of Springerville. It was a tough choice because I know it would have been beautiful, I would have loved it, and I would have pretty much just dilly-dallied, I think, a lot. And the roads are going to be steep and hilly and narrow, I think. I can still change my mind and do it, but I don't think I will. So I've got a nice poor boy bath. I washed 3 pairs of socks, 2 underwear, and a shirt and a hanky. They're drying in the sun. I'm hydrated. I drank a bunch of water today. And motivation is just high. It's strong. We're going to push off again tomorrow. It's supposed to be near 70. And I'm just going to go from there. What a great day. What a great place. Man, this is great. What a great little jaunt to get an idea of my surroundings. I don't think I'm going to be disappointed taking this shorter route. I can see that I am going to travel through mountains with tree cover, basically up to the Continental Divide. And then I think after that I'll have some more of these wide open plains, which is just over here, and I think I'll be able to film it. Also getting a great feel for this as a day pack. really, if I wanted to, I could probably do a very basic overnight journey with this bag, carrying my tent and sleeping pad. Yes, sir. So here's this huge plain, grassy plain that I came across yesterday, 21 miles. You can see the road. Right straight across. And I camped just to the right of that butte there. There's a very large array over here of radio scopes. And there's the snow. I came around that range right there. I also saw some antelope crossing this on the left side in the grass. Very beautiful. Probably 20. And I think there was just one male with big horns. What a lucky guy. Oh man, this is great.